I have seen the light. Playing games for enjoyment is all well and good, but playing games for enjoyment and then finishing it off with trophy hunting the platinum has ignited a new passion within me. Completionism is its own reward, except it's not, because you better shell out a platinum trophy at the end that's all shiny and blue for me and people who view my profile to oogle at, or I ain't bothering. The completionist and his whole family might be conniving, disingenuous frauds, but all those platinum trophies he got are real, and that's something. Apply this to whatever console you're loyal to, whether it's PlayStation trophies, or Steam achievements, or Xbox Gamer Score, or Nintendo once again not being with it. I would have platinumed so many Nintendo games by complete accident if they had trophies. Imagine completing the Pokedex in a Pokemon game and nothing on your profile signifying that. Inner joy is cool, but let me spread that shit outward. I want visible bragging rights that double as a symbol of commitment to the games developers are making for us. Your trophy level is your historical document, spanning years into decades of gaming prowess, allegiance, and adventure. I've only recently come around to this idea, so when I first got my PS4, I made a whole new account and ditched everything I ever did on the PS3. All those trophies, all that history, lost to the void with Flare Blade. I thought that was a super cool name when I was 13. Granted, I still think PSN usernames that don't have any numbers in them are unique and stand out, because having numbers just means other people also thought of that. It can also mean you were first on the scene. Think of all the people who have usernames like Batman227 or Batman13965. Somewhere out there is the original. Some lucky early bird bitch out there gets to be Batman. Numberless. What a guy. If he doesn't have all the Arkham games platinumed, he should have to revoke his tag. One thing going for trophies will do is lay bare everything wrong with the game you're trying to platinum. Playing a game normally through to the end is like going on a first date. You see what the game has curated as the best version of itself. The game has makeup on, orders a salad, barely eats, takes tiny bites, and does its best not to offend any of your sensibilities. When you start undertaking all these extra side missions and doing these challenges that are required for completion but otherwise optional, that's where the mask comes off. That's where a game hides a lot of jank, frustration, bad game mechanics, you name it. If something can go wrong, it will. If a game has imperfections, they will be revealed. Recently, I platinumed Jak 2 of the Jak and Daxter franchise, back when Naughty Dog made games for gamers instead of Hollywood, on my second Unlimited Trophy Quest stream. It took just shy of 20 hours. 10 of those hours were spent beating the game and getting every other trophy. The last 10 were spent getting one, collecting all 286 precursor orbs. Some of them are infrequently hidden in some of the levels and occasionally devilish and absurd spots. Whatever, I had a guide open for those. That's just what you do when you platinum collectathons, especially open world ones where the orbs are tiny and don't stand out very much, but that wasn't so bad because of that. If you weren't going to use a guide, you would simply just not platinum the game, because you ain't finding all those on your own, especially because 6 of them are permanently missable if you don't get them in the mission you need to get them in, because some locations change as the story progresses, not to mention there's no in-game way of seeing which levels have how many orbs. The rest of the orbs are won through challenges, like races around the city, or find this spot in the allotted time, or the gun range courses. This type of stuff is where the paint peels off and the rust is exposed. Jak 2 as a whole, if you're just doing main game stuff, I went into this with a slightly positive opinion of it. It's not my favorite. It has a lot of escort missions and missions that have to be done a certain way or they seem impossible, but overall it's a decent game. The map is horrendous, and the roads are a mess. Despite riding a hovercraft, you are for some reason affected by every pothole and raised bump in the ground, which slows the hell out of you, and areas are these snaky labyrinthine paths that make it take much longer to get from point A to point B. To make matters worse, your hovercrafts function like wave runners and need gas to turn, which makes handling a nightmare, and they also can't turn in midair, which makes no sense for a goddamn hovercraft. I'm always in midair. This makes jumps require pinpoint lines because you can't adjust them at all mid-flight, so you need perfect accuracy at all times, and one slightly off-the-mark jump will frequently lead to your craft getting one-shot by the wall or a pit and failing whatever race you're doing. There are 2 types of race challenges. The ones in the city, where you have to contend with the pedestrian denizens who function like obstacles that frequently run directly into your driving path and bounce you off course. Dude, this game will make you hate fat people. I don't care. Even if you yourself are 300 pounds, you will be sitting there watching the bulky dudes fling themselves into your vehicle and make you miss a turn, and you'll be like, "Get your fat fucking ass off the street. There's like 3 different types of pedestrians, and one of them's fat, so they're everywhere. For one of these races, you need a gold time of 2 minutes and 7 seconds, and there were 3 instances where I hit the final ring in the challenge in under 2 minutes and 7 seconds, but the game takes a full second to recognize that you're done with the race and doesn't stop the time until then, so it'll just artificially bump your time up past 2:07. That's bad game design, man. Platinum hunting will make you see bad game design everywhere it lurks. In the stadium races, which you also need to hit certain times for, regardless of first place for some of the orbs, sometimes there's these shortcut pits you need to boost to jump over that have pillars on either side that you need to jump between so you don't explode on impact. But you're racing against 6 other AI racers, and if some of you jump that gap at the same time, and one of the dudes next to you hits a pillar and explodes, you also explode for being near him, even if your jump was otherwise perfect. Bad game design. There is no option to not take the shortcuts, because if you miss one, you simply will not get the gold time necessary for completion. In fact, if you so much as miss a single turbo or take a turn a little wide and grind up against a wall once, you will not get the gold time necessary for completion. So in the first lap, you are at the mercy of all the dudes who started next to you, fucking up so spectacularly that you get caught in it and turn into fireworks. A couple of these races are mandatory for main game progression, but you only need to get first place in those without hitting a certain time, which hides some of the jank. Like, if you only spend 15 minutes doing something far easier to accomplish with a game mechanic, you're not going to come out of it as jaded and annoyed and hateful as you would if you had to spend 2 hours accomplishing something much harder with the same game mechanic, especially if the reason it's harder is directly attributable to the game mechanic itself being fucking ass. The way the races are designed does not lend itself to perfect execution, yet it demands that of the players. You put 6 rando AI obstacles in there that frequently ruin the player at their own expense. They don't race like they're trying to win. They race like they're trying to make you lose. And you set a target time that acts like those obstacles aren't there. You know when a game is good if you didn't spend the last half hour leading up to the platinum ranting about how much it sucks, or in my case, 6 hours. Jak 2 is a horrendous platinum, and probably the least fun one I've ever gotten. I've had platinums take triple the amount of time this one did, and I look back on them more fondly because they were better games. I have always liked Jak 3 more than Jak 2, and regarded it as my favorite in the series, but when I go to platinum it, which I for some reason will still subject myself to, that'll be the real test. The first Jak and Daxter Platinum is a delight because it's just regular platformer collectathon stuff, no GTA for kids bullshit. I come out of a platinum quest for that game bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready for the next thing. But platinum quests have reignited my passion for gaming, as aforementioned, specifically with replaying games I've played before. Usually I have no reason to do that, but trophy hunting gives me that reason. I don't need a new game to have an attainable platinum trophy for me to want to play it. Like, I'm still getting Civilization 7 on Steam next month, because that game would probably be horrendous on controller, and I'll have a blast regardless, but multi-platform stuff is just more exciting on PlayStation for me because of that extra trophy spice. I really hope against hope that Nintendo puts achievements of some kind in the Switch too, something visual like trophies. Steam achievements never felt special to me, and Xbox Gamerscore is just a number. You need an iconic graphical representation of your achievements to draw players into them. I look at a platinum trophy and I feel things. Pride, accomplishment, arousal. Nintendo is the king of iconic imagery, and it's time for them to implement that into something like trophies. Call them cookies. You know how people will sarcastically go, "Oh, great job, you think you accomplished something. What do you want, a cookie?" Yes, and Nintendo can give them to us. Different cookies for different tiers, maybe part of a platter that different achievements could fill in as you get them, and you can see how it looks with each added cookie, and then you get the final one, and the platinum cookie ties the whole thing together that looks delicious and complete. One of my previous aversions to platinum hunting as a reason why I wasn't interested in it before is that so many of them require you to have a guide just out the whole damn time. Souls games are the worst offenders here. Nobody has ever platinumed a Souls game in a room with no internet and no prior knowledge. It's never been done. Imagine trying to bare-knuckle brainstorm your way through a Souls game from scratch to get a platinum, figuring out exactly how world tendency and character tendency work in Demon Souls, what changes in each world depending on those things, where every NPC is and how to complete their barely communicated vague quest lines, what enemy has a 0.6% chance to drop one of the weapons you need, how many playthroughs are even required, what kind of Covenant bullshit you need to do in what order, how to get certain endings. Like, none of that is gonna just reveal itself to you if you explore hard enough. If a guy gets arrested for double murder, instead of throwing him in jail, lock him in a room with a PS5 and no internet and say he's a free man as soon as he platinums Demon Souls. You will never see this man again. You have to know stuff beforehand, and if you don't, you need a guide. I've been platinuming the Souls games recently. I got Elden Ring, Demon Souls, and Dark Souls remastered so far, and I do not recommend it. I'm working on Bloodborne, and that one seems more relaxed. There's way less BS associated with it. But like in general, it's fun to get like 70% of the trophies in a Souls game, because they happen naturally as you play. You beat all the bosses, you do some NPC stuff, you do a couple saves with different builds. You never find everything in a single playthrough, but you get as much out of the game as you probably ever need to. Then you go for the all weapons or spells or rings trophies, and it's a whole different ballgame. Now every move you make matters. Now you have to constantly check to make sure you didn't skip a quest line or any rare items across multiple playthroughs, or accidentally give a boss soul to the wrong guy, or else that's a whole nother playthrough you just added, and it's exhausting. And the weirdest part is, 10% of the player base will have these platinums. That's a lot for almost any platinum. It's insane. The Souls community is a group of such massive die-hard pain-seeking completionists. These meticulous masochists love the game so much they will literally go to the ends of the earth multiple times, their routes mapped out to perfection just to do everything the game challenges them to do. Spend 55 minutes killing this one enemy over and over again for a super rare coin I have to trade to a nest for one of 30 rings I have to collect. I'll do it for you, Demon Souls. Crazy. Nobody deserves to platinum a Souls game because nobody deserves to be so punished. But yeah, a 10% platinum rate for Souls games is ridiculous. For reference, Cuphead has only been platinumed by 2.8% of players, and that shit takes like 3 hours if you're good at it. Astrobot, a game literally anybody could platinum, has a rate of 17%. Crash 4, my most proud platinum and go-to reference, has a platinum rate of 0.3%. What's the lowest platinum rate of any game I've platinumed, though? That would be 0.2%, and that number belongs to Fall Guys. I got the 5 wins in a row trophy back in Season 1, and that's basically impossible now, so good luck. Some other fun platinum statistics for games I've platinumed. 2016 Doom has a 1.1% rate. Batman Arkham Asylum's got a 2.4. My Little Pony A Maritime Bay Adventure has a 17%. Nothing further to add to that. Bug Snacks is 10%. Rocket League is 2.6. Jumping Sushi Turbo is 98%, which blows my fucking mind. If you don't know, a few years ago I did a stream where I was showcasing some of the garbage on the PlayStation Store, and they have like 30 different games that are just Jumping Taco, Jumping Donut, Jumping French Fries. These are games that exist to buy platinum trophies. They're $2. You open the game, it just shows the food there, and then you hold the X button to make it rapidly jump. It counts the jumps, and for every numerical milestone, you get trophies until you get the platinum. It takes about 45 seconds of holding the X button to get all the trophies, and you're telling me the platinum rate is only 98%? Who the fuck tapped out? This is too much work. They said it was going to be an easy platinum. I didn't sign up for manual labor. Someone bought the game trying to get the platinum and was like, oops, I forgot I have muscular dystrophy. I can't hold down this button. These games should all be banned. I have no idea why PlayStation continues to allow them to this day. There's a new one every week. They must be up over 100 by now. Jumping Egg, Jumping Chicken, Jumping Cookie, like Jumping Jehoshaphat, bro. Shut this shit down. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Watch all my other videos while jumping 500 times for a platinum, and I'll see you guys next time.